Well, my dad bought it in, I think it was the year 2000. And it was on the road in 2008 or 9. So he got it up and running. He said at the time that he thought it was a big disaster. Um, he'd had one back in the 60s before I was born. Um, so he always wanted one. He got it, and then he found out there was quite a few things that needed doing. And he said about doing them, just about everything that needed replacing, repairing, or fettling, he managed to do. Got it back to its original colour, so he's resprayed it. This is now Florida green. Had the engine looked at. I think they're new carburetors. Kept as much as he could. Kept everything that he could. Had to have a few things re-chromed. I think there's new exhaust he put on. But everything done to the original specification wherever he could. And then, once he'd done everything he needed to do, as you can see, I think the original seats, but the back ones he had done. Once everything had been done, and he was happy with it, and it worked, it then sat. And it sat for well over 10 years, probably 13 years. 2010 was the last tax disc it had. And then he passed it on to me. And it sat. As you can see, it's not a barn find. It's in a big shed, well looked after, well covered up, dust free, pretty warm and cuddly in there, but I couldn't get it out because there are too many other things in the way. But that was, and would I be able to use it? Would I be able to actually, would it run? It hadn't moved for 12, 13 years, even though clearly the work had been done on it. Everything had been sorted out. So that was going to be, I mean, look, the new hood, there's a tonneau cover, there's even a hard top, which we haven't found the hard top yet, but it is around somewhere. Yeah, it looks lovely. It looks great. I think that the new tyres on it, but they've been sat, in that position for the best part of 15 years. When we got it outside, it gleamed. This was towards the end of the summer. We actually got it out, and wow, it was as if it was breathing life again. And the idea then was just to get it up and away, serviced. So took it to my friendly mechanic guy, and he spent weeks on it, just fettling it, draining all of the fluids out of it, putting a new battery on it, freeing up the brakes, checking everything works, and we even got it through its MOT. And then it was a case of could I actually enjoy it? Could I drive it? And that was going to be the big question, because this is not it's not a modern car. It's 60 years old. 1963 Austin Healey Mark II. The big Healey, 3-litre engine in there, 6-cylinder. Quite a formidable car in many ways, because we are not talking about modern equipment. But I've done about 200 miles now. We're now into November, and the rule is if it's not raining, you don't have the top up. So it was pretty cold. and you can see me grimacing against little flecks and spots of rain. No power steering. The brakes, although they are disc brakes at the front, are, well, they're nothing like modern standard brakes. You just have to be careful with it, and there are flat spots probably on the tyres that need replacing. Definitely, that's the next job. The brakes are clickety clackety a little bit because they've got little spots in them where they've been resting, I suppose. They don't fit brilliantly well, but my goodness me, what a pleasure. What a pleasure to drive this thing. Not just because it's a lovely thing, it is an absolutely gorgeous little car. Not because wherever you go, people want to have it. Oh, well, where's that? Well, I haven't seen many of them, and what year is that? It does attract quite a bit of interest. Even the first time I went to fill it up with petrol, some guy came over to chat about it. But just because it's so different to what we're used to, it takes you back to just enjoying a drive. Absolutely lovely. Will take a lot of getting used to. Absolutely no doubt about it. But if it can be reliable, if I can keep it going, if it doesn't cause me too many major issues, then that's what I'll do. It's an absolute pleasure. The suspension is a bit jolty, saying that it's a bit stiff. I think they were designed to go racing with, at least to be really quite sporty in their day, 60 years ago. Be quite a sporty little car. I think it'd probably do 100 miles an hour. Not with me driving, I don't think, but and if you got it on a relatively flat, you could have a bit of fun with it probably. Not until you get some new tyres on it and get used to it. The first gear, well, it's pretty redundant really, and it's not a synchromesh gearbox throughout. You can only use first gear when you've stopped, and it takes a bit of getting used to, and I'm still nowhere near used to it. I'm getting better though, and it runs really well. For a car that's been stood up for 15 years and really hadn't done any miles at all for 20 plus years, I think it's doing all right so far. So I will keep you posted and let you know how I get on. But it's early days, and really I won't be driving it much, I doubt, throughout the winter. But if I can't use it, then I won't be able to keep it because there's no point. No, so far so good, and we'll let you know how I get on.